But within Black feminist thought, I think it's important to acknowledge Black women, but also acknowledge them to the point of the value that they hold, not only within society, but also within higher education as well. I believe that creating curriculum such as sociology classes and student development courses and focusing on those experiences of Black womanhood can allow people kind of the room to genuinely understand what we go through as Black women.
Welcome back, listeners, to the Say More podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Josh Wallace, and I have a special guest with me here today. Ashley, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Awesome. So Ashley's going to tell us a little bit about Black Feminist Thought. Ashley, before we get into, just the crux of this session and you share a little bit about Black Feminist Thought with us, I think our listeners will want to learn more about you. So can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Yes, sir. So my name's Ashley Hatcher. I'm currently a graduate student at the University of Louisville. I serve as a grad assistant in the Office of Student Engagement here at U of L. I'm currently working on my master's degree in higher education. I received my bachelor's degree from Western Kentucky University, Go Tops, and I currently serve as a research associate for Dr. Wallace.
Awesome. I'm so happy to have you here with us today, Ashley. So before we get into the sort of main points of the theory, I always think it's important to, just learn a little bit more about the author, right? So what can you tell us about the author of Black Feminist Thought?
So Dr. Patricia Hill Collins is a distinguished American sociologist, scholar, and educator who is known for her groundbreaking work in Black feminist thought. She was born on May 1st, 1948 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Go Birds. And her influence within her work was because of her social dynamic and racial dynamic within her community. She earned her bachelor's degree of arts from Brandeis University in 1969 and immediately obtained her master's from Harvard University in 1970 and later obtained her PhD in sociology from Brandeis University in 1984. And currently, Dr. Collins has held many academic positions. She served as a professor of sociology at the University of Cincinnati and later served at University of Maryland, College Park. She became the first Black woman to serve as the president of the American Sociology Association in 2009, which further solidified her position within the field. As of right now, she currently holds a professor emeritus within the Department of African American Studies at the University of Cincinnati.
Wow, a lot of amazing details on the background of Patricia Hill Collins. And, it helps sort of set the stage in the context for us learning more about her work, right? So let's get into a little bit of her work. Can you tell us a little bit about the origins of Black feminist thought and how Patricia Hill Collins sort of contextualized them?
So Black feminist thought comes from Black women's standpoint, which is the belief of self-authorship and the legitimization of unique knowledge within the Black community and specifically with Black women. The theory highlights the lived experiences, struggles, and intellectual contributions of Black women who have historically been marginalized. The theory can be traced back to the 19th century with Black intellectuals, activists, and writers. And also, Black feminist thought continues and remains to be powerful by shedding light on intellectual activists who strive to evolve by influencing academic disciplines, activism, and policy.
Nice. Thanks for telling us about the origins. Now, of course, we want to get into some of the main ideas of Black feminist thought, right? So what can you tell us about some of the main claims that Patricia Hill Collins is making in Black feminist thought?
So Black feminist thought is broken up into a few major themes throughout the book. First is like work, family, and Black womanhood, then sexual politics, political activism, motherhood, and self-definition. And some of the themes I would like to focus on, one of them is the matrix domination, which is broken up into four domains. So the first one is structural domain, which talks about how society is set up in this form of a glass ceiling where Black women can be close in proximity to gaining certain access or certain positions, but still being denied within those spaces. The next theme is disciplinary, which is how people people who are within power positions and just power overall can manage oppression. Social institutions manage power and relations and can control certain subpopulations. Next is hemogenic domain, which Dr. Collins writes that within this domain, society kind of upholds all these old narratives and these ideas and try to normalize them and refashion them over time, which can manipulate the idea and symbols of various social groups. Lastly, within this domain is the interpersonal domain, which talks about the everyday life of Black women and within their community. And sometimes I believe that Black women, we are conditioned to serve the needs of others. So Dr. Collins, within this self-definition, she wants to empower us to take control over our lives and empower us within the impersonal domain. And she also talks about within interpersonal and self-definition that it's a continuous journey. Like, it's never ending. You always have to try to fight through your constant day-to-day battles, whether those are internally or externally.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for the insight on Black feminist thought and the different sort of layers of it. It's such a complex theory, and just as Black women are very complex people as well in our society. So now that we know a little bit about the sort of main ideas, I want to get into some of the potential limitations, right? Like, as we've talked about in class, all theories have limitations. We said it multiple times in class. And so, Black feminist thought is no different. What are some of the potential limitations to Black feminist thought?
So some of the limitations that I have discovered is risk of victimization in the narrative that all Black women struggle and all have the same experiences. Within that can be a limitation because not all Black women share the same experiences. So my experiences as a young Black woman might not be the same as somebody who I see within Walmart or on the train, or I just come by them. Also, another limitation is heteronormative. So she doesn't necessarily talk about the lived experiences of Black women who identify within the LGBTQ community. And sometimes if they do identify within that, they might face different types of oppression than somebody who doesn't identify within that community. Also, it's a lack of universal representation and cultural differences among Black women, meaning that all Black women do not come from the same cultural or social class background. And also, I think that more research could be done with examining how Black feminist thought plays a factor within social classes within the Black community.
Wow, thank you. A lot of great insight there into some of the potential limitations, right? So as you've mentioned the limitations, I want to talk about some of the application of this theory, right? As educators, we're always thinking about not just these theories in general and keeping them in that space, but thinking about how we apply theories to what we do on the day-to-day, right? And so I'm curious for you, how would you apply, or how can you apply Black feminist thought to student affairs practice or academic affairs practice in higher education?
So I know it's a lot of stuff going on within the world right now, politically and socially. So I think that kind of has like a lot of people worried. But within Black feminist thought, I think it's important to acknowledge Black women, but also acknowledge them to the point of the value that they hold, not only within society, but also within higher education as well. I believe that creating curriculum such as sociology classes and student development courses and focusing on those experiences of Black womanhood can allow people kind of the room to genuinely understand what we go through as Black women. Also, I believe in allowing graduate and undergraduate Black women the self-autonomy to create these forms of sister circles so they can have peer-to-peer mentorship and create a sense of belonging at these institutions. But also within that, hiring more Black women within these Black faculty and staff positions. This can create a room of representation, also having students to look up to them, not only just all students, but specifically Black women. And within having Black women within these roles, it can allow them to also mentor these undergraduate women, but also advocate for them within these certain policies and procedures that's changing at institutions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A lot of great insight there into how you can apply take Black feminist thought and apply it to student affairs and academic affairs practice. Well, listeners, that's really all the time we have today. I first want to thank my guest, Ashley, for coming in and sharing a little bit about Black feminist thought. Ashley, any sort of final words or takeaways you want to give our listeners?
Yes, sir. First, I would like to say thank you, Dr. Wallace, for allowing me within this space. And I would also like to humbly thank Dr. Patricia Hill Collins for her dedication to research and within Black feminist thought, and also just doing the work and shedding the light on our lived experiences. And I hope that this theory continues to live on and that more research is being conducted within this. So thank you again for having me, and thank you, Dr. Collins.
Yes. All of that. Well, listeners, like I said, that's all the time we have. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.